no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me.
We are waging war on mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, coming to you again with another day of Motivational Monday. I hope you all are having an exceptional week out there this week, because I know, man, just coming off from Bridging the Nation yesterday, coming into today, we should have some good bread that we're holding on to help us get through the week. For all of my replayers, please give me about a minute and a half as I share this out to all my replayers, as I share this out to all my social media outlets. And you all starting to see people come into the room. As you come into the room, please holla at your boy. Holla at your boy as you come into this room. Hold on, they got a new way to share this now. I see the eyes starting to add up, man. Y'all holla at your boy. Y'all give me about 2 minutes. Let's go ahead and sit here. Let's have this conversation while I share this out to all my social media outlets out there. And I appreciate you all who are here for joining us today. All right, here we go. Let me share this out right quick. And if you would, please share it out as well. That'll be a great help. Hey, Vaniqua, thank you for joining us, Future DON. Thank you for joining us tonight. And if you would, please share this. Type 2 or 3 people names in the comment box, man. It'll be very helpful to this conversation, if you would. Facebook, what's up out there? Holla at your boy. I promise I'm about to be done. Give me few more seconds as I send this out. I got a tag list of people that ask me to tag them when I go live. Sometimes the thing doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So I promised I'll tag them. I'm about to tag them right quick. And I'm going to be ready to break this bread. Hope y'all ready for this bread breaking this afternoon. Call your cousin, call your mama and them, and let them know the motivational teacher is about to go live. All right, let me share it to a couple more groups, and we're going to get this on. We're going to get this on right quick. All right, let's get it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for being here on time. I'm seeing the eyes starting to add up, man. As you come in the room, holla at your boy. Episode 99 of Awaken Your I Am. We've been taking these idioms, phrases that we say and most people believe to be true, and just smart little sayings that we use all the time. And we're putting teeth around these idioms because words have meaning and words have power, right? Words have power. So if you would, please, please, please go ahead and tag your mama, tag your grandmama and them, and let them know that we're about to go live. Because tonight is going to be another phenomenal Motivational Monday. And tonight we're taking the idiom. Yeah, we're taking the idiom. I keeps it real. Have you ever heard somebody say, I'm keeping it 100 or I'm keeping it real? Motivational teacher, what does that actually mean? And tonight, for a brief moment, we're going to hop into keeping it real. And I know this is something that, especially if you're in our community, you hear this a lot. Keeping it 100, the young folk used to say. I don't know what they say now, but keeping it 100, meaning when you say keeping it real, the definition of keeping it real is not being fake or influenced. Being true to yourself and your values, but more importantly, being true to the innate values that all people acknowledge you as. Yeah, I'm gonna let you know. That word real means actually existing as a thing or occurring in fact. So hold on to that thought right there. That word, see, this is motivational teacher to the masses. You show up here about 10 minutes late, you're gonna miss the whole setup of the conversation. Hey, Rashad, 100. Come on, Rashad. Thank you for dropping in here tonight. Not front or inhibiting yourself or pretending to be something that you're not. Y'all hold on to what I'm saying right now when we saying keeping it real, because I'm going to put a whole different spin on this whole thing of keeping it real. I got to keep it real. I know so many people that I was growing up with that kept it real and are either in prison or in the graveyard. Speaking of, I remember I don't know if y'all remember this. If you do, holler at your boy. Do y'all remember Dave Chappelle's skit, When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong? It's one of the most funniest skits out there. He had this young guy, the story of Vernon Fuller. The guy's name was Vernon Fuller, and when keeping it real goes wrong, Vernon Fuller had went to college, got his master's, got his bachelor's, got his master's. He was working in a corporation. He became the first senior vice president in that corporation, right? And he had a mentor in there. Yeah, it's funny. And he had a mentor in there. And Dave Chappelle, who was playing the character of Vernon Fuller, had gotten a good proposal through, and his mentor said, "Hey, Vernon, awesome job. Give me some skin." And then at that time, the Dave Chappelle show kind of paused and says, "Is Vernon going to keep it real?" And Vernon decided to keep it real. And Vernon went through a whole list of things. To my man, I'm tired of y'all telling me about this. He used the N-word a couple of times, told his mentor, tried to tell him to sit down and calm down, and said, well, Vernon, continue to keep it real. And Vernon continued to keep it real. And so as a result of Vernon keeping it real in that office, they fired Vernon. I wrote it down over here. And he ended up working at the Sunny Filler Up station for almost no money. And at the end, it said, when keeping it real goes wrong. And when I think about keeping it real, I cannot help but to think of that Dave Chappelle skit. On your free time, please go check it out, because it's going to help add teeth to this conversation as well. And the challenge for a lot of us is that most often us keeping it real is us making decisions again based on what I know and what I saw. What's up, Big Cuz? Thank you for joining us. Like, I remember when I was first starting in the sales game, and it was my goal I pictured myself in the same seat as Vernon Fuller, and we could be on a call, and I know I have the right answer, and it was my goal just to make sure everybody knew that I had the right answer. And as a result, and I see now, it's amazing that 10 years later that I can see myself on that same Dave Chappelle skit on keeping it real on these calls and in person when I was talking over people, because I knew I had the right answer. I knew I was the smartest person in the room. I had to make everybody else in the room know I was the smartest person in there. And so now I can see when a moment came for me to say something, and will Anthony keep it real again and say whatever he think is on his mind? Hey, Courtney, hey, Wynn, thank you for joining us. Will he just keep it real and say what's on his mind again? And every time I see myself, just like Vernon Fuller was at the time, I would keep it real, and I would say, okay, I wouldn't say I'm the smartest in the room, but based on my comment, they would know I was the smartest in the room. So Anthony was keeping it real, keeping it 100 as it relates to that moment. And see, I'm gonna get into my notes, but one of the problems of keeping it real a lot of times is based out of our past and based out of what we knew at that moment in time. 10 years ago, Anthony was very insecure, and that insecurity needed validation externally. And so when I was keeping it real in that room, I was actually trying to cover where I was hurting. I was trying to cover my own insecurities by gaining the external validation of the people in the room. And I had a conversation, and I lived this keeping it real, going wrong life for the first 30 years, 35 years of my life. I keeping it real. I was keeping it real. You ain't gonna talk me down. I'm gonna let you know I'm the smartest person in this room. I gotta let you know I got all the answers. And Anthony was keeping it real. And while I was in the mindset of keeping it real, I saw 0 promotions during that whole time frame because I was perceived as a know-it-all. And it's funny because I'm the motivational teacher to the masses as I am right now. But back then, my voice was so dominant that I made people not feel good about themselves, because I had to exhort myself. Pride always comes before the fall. I had to exhort myself. I don't mind talking about me, because I'm a work in progress. I already know it, that every day I'm getting better. So because I had to exhort myself, I made other people feel less of themselves. And honestly, in the back of my mind, that validated who I thought I was. And it wasn't until I came into the realization of the great I am, episode 99 of Awaken My I Am. I came into the realization that it's he that gives me the strength and the power to get wealth. And the moment, like Rashad just said, you got to know when to fall back. It took a moment, I call a defining moment in my life, for me to learn how to, I'm going to use Rashad term right there, to learn how to fall back. I was talking to one of my friends, who was a colleague. He and I we were even. We both had aspirations of being promoted. And he said, and this is one of my defining moments in my life. And he said, man, you could be Neo. You could be one of the ones that actually be able to reach the goal that we've all set for ourselves. He told me that, he said, but you want to always be the smartest person. You always wanting to be right. Is the downfall. And I took those words to heart from a peer. Talking about Dave Chappelle, when keeping it real goes wrong. And without that feedback is a gift. Without that feedback from a peer, I wouldn't have known of how I was being perceived. And I think for a lot of us, promotion is right on the other side of our keeping it real, of us keeping it 100. For the people just coming on, our definition of keeping it real is not being fake or influenced, being true to innate values. That's the problem. Innate values. Your innate values come from what I've seen, what I've heard, and what I've done. Innate values that all people acknowledge as respectable, not front or inhibiting yourself or pretending to be something you're not. And I'm going to show you why keeping it real is at enmity with Almighty God. Keeping it real. Hey, auntie, keeping it real. Boy, I got to break bread. It's at war with who the great I am is trying to create you. Oh, come on, man. All things are lawful, but it's not expedient. Just because I can go off today on somebody that did me wrong doesn't mean that I have to go off on somebody who did me wrong. One of my idols is Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. He kept it more real than anybody. He had the power. Boy, I'm telling you, he had the power to not to ever have to go to prison. But he went to prison because he understood that this is a part of my journey and that my words have power. You got to understand that Dr. Martin Luther King had the number of presidents in his phone. He could get on the phone and call the president, but yet he was mild enough to go to the Birmingham jail because he knew that it was for a bigger cause. I'm telling you, keeping it real ain't what it looked like in our neighborhood growing up. Yeah, y'all know, a man can't, Uncle Slick told you, Uncle Slick Flip told you, you got to have more than one woman. If you got one woman, you can't be locked down. Come on now. And we grow up now thinking that keeping it real is I got to have more than 2 or 3 women right now because I got to keep it real. Keep it real. I love the fact in the definition, it said it's being true to innate values. But when you're keeping it real, values are not innate to the great I am, awakening your I am, what decision do we make? Are you being more true to your innate values, the ones you grew up in, your learned behaviors, than you are of the great I am, awakening your I am? I gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it real. Dave Chappelle have another skit in that keeping it real a skit that he's doing, where he had this one lady, somebody called her phone by mistake, and she had to star 69. And she ended up star 69 and going over there, breaking the windows in the lady's car. And the lady called by mistake, and it stopped and said, "Will she keep it real?" And she kept it real. She went over there and broke the windows out the car, scarred the car, poured paint on the car. But in the skit, where she did not understand that car belonged to a federal agent. And so she ended up getting 6 years in prison for keeping it real. What is keeping it real costing us in our natural lives? What is it keeping it 100 costing us in our natural lives? When it chiming in here, humility is the key to uncover. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, the more powerful that you become, I got to break bread. The more powerful that you become, the more you have to watch your words. And I said that perfectly. Make no mistakes about it. I said the more powerful that you become, the more you have to watch your words, because your words are things. The moment you gain influence, or the more influential you get in your life, you can't go and just say whatever I want to say, because your words affect people. I'm breaking bread right now. The more powerless you are. If you have no power and you have no authority and you have no influence, your words does not matter as much. The moment your words, like I look at Elon Musk. Let's use this as an example. Elon Musk spoke one word about Bitcoin. Bitcoin went through the roof. Elon Musk came back and said something negative about Bitcoin. It went in the crapper. How in the world can, or Dogecoin, I think whatever the coin was, how can it happen like that? Because the more powerful you become, the more your words affect people. That's why I have to remain careful about even what I say on my Motivational Mondays. My words have power. I can't keep it real at the detriment of you and your destiny, of you and your future. I gotta keep it real. Keeping it real is you being true to your innate values that may not be what the great I am. That includes social media. Come on, Vaniqua. It doesn't include social media. I know some of us think our social media account is totally separate from that great I am, awakening my I am. But guess what? Your whole life is documented on your social media account. If I was going to interview you for a job tomorrow, your whole social media footprint will play a role in that interview. Why motivational teacher? Because it tells me who you are when you're not trying to be who you are. I just broke bread. It tells me who you are when you're not trying to be who you want me to think you are. It matters. It matters. When the great I am awakens your I am, we're episode 99. We're keeping it real. Keeping it real. You want to know what keeping it real is? Keeping it real is leaving a blessing for your children's children. Keeping it real is making a legacy for the young boys and the young women in your neighborhood to follow you. Keeping it real is the more powerful and influential I become, the less I can do those things. I see the future DON on here right now. When the future DON was a medical assistant, she could say whatever she wanted to say in whatever job she wanted to say it as a medical assistant, and probably go right down the street and get another job as a medical assistant. Why motivational teacher? Because medical assistants it's a lot of medical assistants. There are more jobs of medical assistants than there are of registered nurse. Once you become a registered nurse, you have to be a lot more careful about what you say, because there are not as many registered nurse jobs as there are medical assistants. I'm breaking bread right now. And the higher you move up and the more you move up, your words influence and impact more people. As you become a medical assistant and a registered nurse, and as you matriculate and become the director of nursing, guess what? Directing of nurses are few and far in between. You can't just cuss somebody out as a director of nurse and go right down the street and get another job. Why? Because now your words carry more influence and it carry more power, which means there's more people watching you externally, waiting on you to keep it real, to where it costs you your job, or it costs you your 401k, or it costs you something more than you're willing to pay at that moment, because I had a fit of carnality. Oh, motivational teacher. Oh, motivational teacher, you mean to tell me that sometimes keeping it real can be a fit of carnality? For all my people out there that's kingdom minded, sometimes keeping it real is a fit of carnality. And we have to be able to subdue that version of who we are. It takes more strength. Oh, I got to break bread. It takes more strength for you to hold back sometime what you want to say and yield your I am to the great I am, and hold back with restraint, than it does for you just to drop off, to just go off and say exactly what you want to say. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the challenge for most of us, the challenge for a lot of us, is that we have not learned how not to act out, how not to have that fit of carnality. We're the same as my 8-year-old son that wants candy and then cry when you say, no, you can't have candy, and expect for you to have what? To whine and cry and be able to have your way. When we have these fits of carnality, the great I am is looking at our I am and like, man, he or she still has work to do. And I got to tell you right now that even this world, even this world is not moved by your emotions. I just broke bread. Now, forget the kingdom of God. Forget the great I am who's awakened your I am. This world is not moved by emotions. I'm telling, I just broke bread right there. It's some of y'all want to know why your business not working. It's some of y'all right now want to know why I'm not being promoted. It's some of y'all right now that want to know why I ain't made it to that next level, because this world is not moved by your emotions. I just had to let them know how I feel. You can't keep running over me. You can't. Now think about it. You got to think about it. Everybody that's worth something, everybody that has made it to that next level of life had some amount of humility where they had to hold back themselves in order to get to that next level, hold back their tongue or hold back how they treat people or what they really thought in order to get to that next level of life. Because imagine what if I love talking about Martin Luther King, but I'm gonna use Jesus. What if Jesus said, I ain't going to no cross for these sons of sons, for these people. I ain't going over there. Look how they treated me bad. They tried to kill me. I ain't doing this for them. Imagine what level of humility it took to carry your own cross up the hill. Imagine what level of humility it took for Martin Luther King to say, it doesn't matter to me right now. I've looked over and I've seen little black boys and little white girls playing together. What level of humility did it take in order for him to speak those words, knowing that he wasn't going to make it to the other side? I'm telling you, it takes more power to stand in that authority than it does for somebody to pop off about what I think in this very moment, having no connection to what will come. I just broke bread. Having no connection to what will come. I'm telling you, we can't. I'm the one that was, is, and is to come. Don't you know your ears determine your ears to come? I just broke bread right there. That your ears determines your ears to come. Like right now, I'm a people manager for a Fortune 100 company. I manage individuals. That's what I do. I coach, I develop, I train. I do it for a Fortune 100 company. I'm not allowed to walk in that company and say whatever I think about Black Lives Matter or whatever I think about what do they call it now? The whole, I forgot what they call it. I can't think of it right now. Or the whole movement they got going on now with Marjorie Green Taylor and all that. I'm not allowed to even walk on there and comment what I think about the coronavirus or even what I think about the vaccines and all of that. I'm not allowed to come in there and have those conversations. Why? Because anything, I gotta break bread. Anything that drives a gap between, and you all see that I'm not very political on my Motivational Mondays. As you can see, I'm not very political on Bridging the Nations because I don't want to divide me and the people. It's all about the things that that we can galvanize around and that we can agree with. Do I have very strong opinions about that stuff? Yes, I do. But this is not my platform to share it. This is the great I am platform to awaken my I am, to awaken your I am. This is not the platform to go at our political beliefs. This is not the platform to go with our religious beliefs. This is the platform to say you can do more, you can have more, you can go harder. There's more in store for you. I don't care what your political belief is. I don't care what your political belief is. There's more on the inside of you. I don't care what your religious belief is. There's more on the inside of you. I don't care what your ethnicity is. There's more on the inside of you. I don't care what your gender is. There's more on the inside of you. This is not the platform for division. Do I have really strong beliefs about what I believe? Sure I do. A lot of these things that goes on in politics affects my community that I live in. Do I have very strong beliefs? Sure I do. But this is not the platform for me to discuss my beliefs. Why? Because lest I divide the people. The thing I loved about Martin Luther King is that when Martin Luther King talked, his words inspired Black people, yes, but it inspired Caucasians as well to join a part of the civil rights fight. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed hearing the story when the first time when Dr. Martin Luther King came to the base of the Edmund Pettus Bridge. When they were getting ready to march from Selma to Montgomery. You got to know some of your history. Get ready to march to Selma and Montgomery. He saw the emotions of the people were very high. And Martin Luther King turning, and on the other side of the bridge, he saw Bull Connor and the dogs and the fire hoses. And he stepped and told the people to turn around and go back. Not because of the fire hose that was on the other side with Bull Connor, but because he saw that the charged emotions from the people was going to lead to death. And the people that was marching behind him, he turned around and told them to go back. We'll come back another day. Why? Because he understood that keeping it real all the time is not what's necessary in order to accomplish the task. Now, it's innate. And I'll be honest, keeping it real is innate because we got something to prove. It's something that on the inside of us that identifies with what's on the other side. Now Malcolm X, on the other side, would have probably saw all them over there. He would say, load up, shoot, get your gun. Let's go. We going across to go to the other side. But Martin Luther King understood the power of this moment. And my challenge for us is how many moments are we keeping it real, keeping it 100, and it's costing us 2 and 3 years of setback. When the great I am has awakened your I am to be in a different place at the same time. He's awakened your I am to be at the same place, but I gotta keep it real. Ladies and gentlemen, keeping it real is not all the time in our best interest. Are there moments when your character is being tested and you have to keep it real? Yes. There are moments when your character is being tested and you got to keep it real. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to steal. But that's not innate to you. That's innate to the great I am, awakening your I am. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. We have to see ourselves as more than what we are. I love the fact that she has future DON. You have to see yourself as a DON when you're RN. How would a DON react to the same situation versus an RN? RN has more the more ability to be able to snap and not affect as many people. The moment you become a DON, now you're affecting everything that happens in the nursing department on 4 or 5 different floors. As a registered nurse, I only affect my group of people right here. As a director of nursing, I affect everybody around me 1, 2, 3, and 4 floors. There's more power. With more power comes greater restraint. Come on, all my leaders out there know that. All my leaders out there know that when you are in a position of authority, you must exercise true restraint. I remember another story that I love. I love telling stories about real life. And I love telling stories about my favorite book, the Bible. I remember that they were coming to get Jesus, and Peter said no. And Peter said, I got to keep it real. And he reached and he cut the dude's ears off, and the dude's ear fell off to the floor. And Jesus picked the dude's ear up and healed it and said, I must go with him. Why, motivational teacher? Because keeping it real wasn't what he was looking for at that moment. And my challenge to us is keeping it real costing us days and years of our journey. And the challenge with keeping it real is the moment came where Peter had a real chance to keep it real. They said, weren't you with that dude, Jesus? Peter said, no. The cock crowed 3 times after he said no. Why? Because that's your moment to keep it real. That's your moment when they challenge your belief system. The moment they keep it real is when they say you're not a director of nursing, you're just the RN. I keep it real at that moment inside of myself and say, no. Inside of myself, I am a director of nursing. Now, when I'm standing in front of them, I might ask, what qualifications does it take to be a director of nursing? But on the inside of me, I know that there's nothing keeping me from attaining that goal, that I am the director of nursing. I know it is my goal to run this whole department. Well, right now, you don't have the education or you don't have the skill set. Then I know my goal is to run this whole department. Then I got to go back and get some more qualifications. Why? Because I'm keeping it real with what the great I am has given my I am. I'm not keeping it real about what somebody think about me. I'm keeping it real based on what he already told me. And see, real, boy, I gotta break bread. I gotta break bread. I gotta break bread. Keeping it real is not me reacting out of my emotion because or having a fit of carnality based on this moment. Keeping it real is based on me living out of my imagination that what the great I am has already given me. I don't care what you say about me. What you say about me does not matter because it's what I think about me that matters. I'm not going to get all upset. I wish y'all could see sometime my DMs I get from doing my own Motivational Monday on my own platform. And when people could turn away and walk away if they don't want to listen to it, you would be amazed at some of the things I get back to me in my inbox. You would be amazed at some of the things that I get in my secular job where I coach, train, motivate, and teach. You would be amazed at some of the things I get back. But the challenge is not how I get back at the person that said them. The challenge is how do I continue to build my I am, and thank you, Vaniqua, and not let them affect my I am. It's all about that mindset. We want to keep it real about some stuff that don't matter when the great I am has awakened your I am to more and more. You can't have no small town mindset when you've been called to play in the big leagues. You can't have no AAA mindset when you're supposed to be with the New York Yankees. You can't have no Birmingham Barons mindset when you're supposed to be playing for the Atlanta Braves. We got to move beyond this small town, small mentality and say, man, I belong in the big leagues. And in order to get to the big leagues, I gotta change some things. I love Benjamin Franklin said, I can't throw rocks at every dog that bark at me on this journey, lest I disqualify myself from greatness. Keeping it real. I gotta keep it real. I keep it 100 about the things that matter. I keep it 100 based on the things that shape my I am. I keep it 100 based on the things that shape my family's I am. I have very little time to care what people think about me. I have very little time to chase down the stories that people tell about me. Well, he don't even talk to one half of his family. I ain't chasing it down. Because it's true. I don't talk to one half of my family. Because if you ain't moving in the direction that we're going, I ain't got no time to be going the opposite direction. Hey, you can't put your hands to this plow and look back. I got no time to be chasing down why. Well, it just what I got no time to chase down why. It is what it is, and I'm moving. The great I am has awakened my I am. I have no time to chase down what might have went wrong. I'm too busy moving in the direction the great I am has called me to move in. And that for a lot of us, there are too many of us trying to chase down what I thought it went wrong. Doesn't matter where it went wrong. The matter is that you got your eyes on the prize. Amen. And that you keep reaching toward the mark of the high calling. Too busy. You too busy playing in doo-doo. And then you say, I got to clean myself up. You got nothing but doo-doo on your hands because you're keeping it too real. I got to clean myself up while you playing in doo-doo. Unstable. Listen, man. Listen, I got to break bread. Greatness is going to demand everything from you. Greatness is going to demand everything from you, in you. You have very little energy to expend. I got to say it. To spend on issues and matter and people that are not moving in the direction you're going. I'm telling you, there's people that, I gotta say it, there are people that I pledge with, or my LBs that I got very little time to spend with because I'm moving here. I ain't got time. I love them like brothers, but I ain't got time. There are people in my family that I don't have time to keep it 100 with you. Right now, I'm moving in the direction that the great I am has given me. I have no time to have to justify why I'm moving to you. I just broke bread. I have no time to have to justify why I'm going in this direction. I have no time to justify why I ain't giving you my resources. I have no time to justify why I don't behave in a way that you think I should. I have very little time to justify my behaviors. Very little time. And I'm challenging you to not to always have to explain yourself, to always not have to be right, To always not have to understand, I don't know why this is happening to me. Why do you need to know? Why do you need to know? I don't understand why every time I get to going somewhere, people in my family that pull me down. Then separate yourself. Like you keep going back to them, whining and complaining about how it's not working, and they're celebrating it because you trying to keep it real and keep the same circle you had. And the great I am is telling you, Abraham, you gotta leave Lot. The great I am is telling you it's time for you, Mephibosheth, to come out of Lodabar. But nah, Lodabar is where I'm comfortable. I don't know. He's telling you, no, it's time for you to come out of Lodabar. I love it when separation equals elevation. Sometimes you got to separate yourself. Oh, I love it like this. You got to come up a little higher and stop trying to keep it real. Listen, man, you will never outperform the top 5 people in your life. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about in relationships. I'm talking about in your marriage. I'm talking about at your job. You will never outperform the top 5 people you spend your time with in those areas. If you're a single person, hey, what's up, Angelique? Thank you for joining us. If you are married and you got a bunch of single friends, it's just a matter of time before you be single again because you got to keep it real. You taking advice from people. You taking advice from somebody who ain't never been married. If you hang around a bunch of broke folk, it's just a matter of time for you ain't gonna have no money. Why? Because you keeping it real. I can't leave my circle. This is where I came up. Well, you better tell them to come up because you keeping it real in that circle is gonna keep you real broke. And then at that point, when you know the truth and you choose to do different, the great I am can't wink at it any longer. He cannot wink at it any longer because you know the truth. But I got to keep it real. I got to keep it 100. I love it. I got to be true to my innate values. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. We got to choose to be more than real. I broke bread right there. I'm 22 minutes. Oh, man, I thought I was 22 minutes. I'm 36 minutes in. I'm 36 minutes in. Let me get somewhere. All right. That was a great run. Angelique, I know you're a little behind. You got to go back and listen to that. Boy, that was a good run right there. Wow. It's keeping it real. Keeping it real going to keep you down. You picked up right there a broken spirit, broken mind, and broke money. Yep, all at the same time. I'm telling you, you'll never outperform your top 5 relationships in any area of your life. I already broke bread. You look around your life, and I'm telling you, not just about money, because me and one of my dogs, we've been rolling together since we were little shorties. And the thing is, man, that he's so genuine, he's so true that his genuineness, man, his genuineness attracts my genuineness. It doesn't matter about things. It doesn't matter about what I do wrong, about what he does wrong. Our genuineness. If I had one person to call to say, Aunt, you got one call to make, I would call him because our genuineness is connected. And see, we're walking around, we're looking, and we're spilling our seeds. Or let me use it this way. We're keeping it real with people that ain't keeping it real with you. They showing you one side to understand what's going on in your life so you can give them all your tea, and they go down and talk down about everything that you just gave them so they can use it against you. What's up, Shamika? Thank you for joining us, sis. And so they can go talk about everything that you just said to try to keep you in a place, because your liberation gives them now hope, or should give them hope, or give them reason to believe that they should be liberated. Their only goal is to keep you right where you are. Let me get into some real stuff. The more powerful you become, the more selective you have to be with your words and with your actions. Keeping it real. Oh my God, this is strong. And I'm writing it just like I got it. Keeping it real is at war with who you're supposed to become. Oh my God. Somebody put that in the chat box. That is a bread breaking moment. Keeping it real is at war with your future or who you're supposed to become. Somebody need to put that in the box. Keeping it real is at war with who I'm supposed to become, the better version of me. Motivational teacher to the masses. What do you mean? How do you say keeping it real is at war? Is that enmity? I love this word, enmity. It's that enmity with who I'm supposed to become. Because when you were created, Y'all know your boy. Y'all know your boy. What's up, Lisa? Thank you for hopping in here. Y'all know your boy. I always go back to the beginning because we no longer have the need to be redeemed. We should be deemed because now we go back to that perfect place and who God has created us through his son. Hey, Joy, thanks for joining us. We go back to that perfect place. So when he said, I redeemed you, for drop the re, I've been deemed back to the place where Adam was before when it was all perfect. So if I'm back there, I should be living. I should be living out of my imagination. When I say you're made in God's image and his likeness, when I say you're made in God's image and in his likeness, it means that you are a creator. You don't create out of your innate values. You create from your imagination. And when you're keeping it real, you bring yourself from being heavenly minded to being earthly minded. I just broke bread. Whatever you cast out of heaven, all cast out of heaven. Whatever you cast on earth is also cast out of earth. You're putting yourself as a mere man when you were meant to live out your imagination. How could Martin Luther King endure the punishment? How could Rosa Parks not want to sit there anymore? How could Grandma Moses say, okay, it's time? Why? Because they knew that this present moment have far more implications, not only in my life, but in the life of my children's children. So I can't have my true innate value where I want to slap somebody. I can't slap them today because I understand that this present moment has more to do with with my life and the life of my children. And the moment we start thinking and living out of our imagination, I ain't saying you ain't got to try not to keep it real. I want you to be who you believe you are. Trust me on this. You don't have to try not to keep it real. You just got to try to live out who you really are. I just broke bread. I just broke bread right there. Keeping it real is at war at who you're supposed to become because it's not allowing you to live out your imagination. And if you're living out of the place of the artist, I can't make decisions that the other version of who I was a few minutes ago could make. Listen, I'm the motivational teacher to the masses. I can't make decisions just solely based on Anthony Williams. I got two kids. I got a wife. I got family members that depend on me. So I can't solely make decisions based on me because I understand that my decision affects their future decision. Oh man, I'm breaking bread. My decision affect their future decisions. I just broke bread. You were created to live out your imagination and not out of your innate values. And the moment you start seeing yourself as what's to come, I don't behave as I am today. Because the moment I see myself that is to come, I can make decisions not based out of my insecurities and based out of my hurt and based out of my pain and based out of my lack and based out of my disappointments. I can make them from a place of wholeness, soundness, nothing missing and nothing lacking. You got to go back and get Bridging the Nations from yesterday to understand exactly what I mean. You were created in God's image and his likeness. You are a creator from the beginning. You are a creator from the beginning. It's no reason. I understand why you're the artist because you were a creator from the beginning. I understand why you can speak those things that be not as they are because you were created in the beginning to do those things. But then we got in the garden and some things happened. And I began to no longer react from my imagination. I now had to go cover myself based on the decisions I made in the past. I had to go cover myself because I can't let people see my real insecurity. Oh man, I'm breaking bread right now. I can't let people see my real insecurity. So I got to keep it real to cover that part of me that I can't leave exposed. Who told you you were naked? Oh my God, that's a bread breaking moment right there. That is a bread breaking moment right there. Who told you You were naked and you're going trying to cover that part of you up. You know you need the great I am to awaken your I am in that area, but yet you go walk away every day knowing that I need to be awakened in that area, and we will hide that piece of ourselves from everybody and everything around us in the form of insecurity, in the form of disappointment, in the form of I can't get close to nobody because I'm just that person. And all the same time, you went and sown fig leaves over that area of your life. And then we like to call it, I'm keeping it real. I got to keep it 100. I got to let them, you ain't going to take advantage of me. The thing is about a person that's been, the great I am has awakened your I am. You're not worried about being somebody taking advantage of you, because it's the great I am that awakens your I am, and anything that you lack, you got access to it. You can't take advantage of me. Why? Because I freely give myself. Whoa, I broke bread right there. I always give more on my secular job than what's required. Why? Because they can't, I understand that I work as unto God and not unto man. My secular job cannot take advantage of me because I'm being groomed for a higher purpose and a higher call. Yes, I give more than what I'm paid for. Yes, I volunteer to do more than what I'm paid for. But why? Because you cannot take advantage of somebody that does not have fig leaves covering their body. I just broke bread. The great I am has awakened my I am. You cannot take advantage of me. It is my greatest desire is to be the best motivational teacher on this earth. It is my desire to be the best motivational speaker, motivational teacher. It's my desire to be the best people leader at my secular job. And I understand that comes with a price. It is my goal in life to be the best husband I could be. It is my goal today to be the best father I could be, best son, best uncle. And I understand that all of that comes with a price. It comes with a price. And I understand that in order for me to do it, I gotta be willing to be vulnerable. I have to be willing sometime to leave myself exposed to be hurt. I understand sometimes I'm going to have to show up when don't nobody get me but me. I understand sometimes that I'm going to be misunderstood. I understand sometimes that I can say something controversial and somebody going to take it one way and take it another way. I understand that when you put yourself out there, it comes at sometimes at the risk of being exposed. It's okay because I'm not sewing fig leaves together. Because my boy Paul said, I have become of no reputation. The moment you become of no reputation is the moment when you're truly free indeed. I ain't got to keep it real because number one, I don't have a reputation. It's God gets the glory. I have no reputation. I am of no reputation. You can't, man, come on, man. I'm breaking bread right now. Somebody better holler at your boy. Somebody better holler at your boy. I'm breaking bread right now. You got to become of no reputation. In order to get to the top of that mountain, you're going to have to expose some wounds. In order to get to the top of that mountain, you're going to have to address who told you were naked. If you go back and read this for none of the Bible people, go back and read the story of Adam and Eve in Genesis. Who told you? You're going to have to go back and expose those wounds. And until you're able to go back and say, great I am, I trust you with my I am, and go into those secret places, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to always have to keep it real to keep the best part of you unexposed. Don't go sow the fig leaves. Live out your imagination. What you went through is not who you are. Who hurt you, that's not who you are. That's a version of you that's so much greater. On the inside of you, you were meant to be like your daddy. You are a creator. You were meant to live out your imagination. Keeping it real is at war with who you're supposed to be. Ephesians 3:20, now to him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask and think, according to the power that works in you. What kind of power do you have working in you? Do you have that power that says, I gotta be the man all the time? Or do you have that quiet strength that says, I don't have to be the center of attention? Or do you have that quiet strength that said, I lift as I climb and I push people up as I go? Do you have that strength to say, man, it's not I that walk, but it's him that walks through me? Do you have the power and the ability to say, I have made it to the top, but I'll help pull somebody else down and help get them where they're supposed to be, not at my detriment, understanding that that's how I get to the top? I remember when I didn't have, and my mom is on here, she remembered this story. I basically had no money. My car was behind. I'm being as transparent as I could be tonight. Tonight, I'm gonna show you, I'm taking my fig leaves off. And I was as broke as I could be. I went through a divorce. I didn't have no money. And it was this couple that we knew. And this couple was 2 car payments away from paying their car off. It was $789. I remember it like it was yesterday. They were 2 car payments away, $789. And I knew that in order for me to get to the next level of life, in order for me to get out my situation, I got to sow into somebody else's. I know at some point I want a paid off car, so let me sow into them paying off their car. So I said, hey, I ain't got it right now. I get paid Friday. Can you wait till Friday? I want to give you $789. I want to give you $789. I want to contribute to you paying off your car, because I understand that if I pay off your car, I got to expose my wound. I know my wound. See, you got to understand. Oh my God, I'm about to break bread. Awaken your I am. At that moment in my life, I had a spirit of poverty on my life, and I thought that in order to make it, that I had to save everything. But in order to save everything, you got to give it away. And I paid that car off, and they allowed me to give them the money to go pay the car off. And they had a celebration where they tore up the title, and I paid that car off. And I'm telling you, as I sit in this seat today, because of that one action, I've been driving a paid-for car with paid-for gas for the last 10 years. In the midst of, I didn't have money to get them. I was borrowing gas money. But I'm telling you, because of that one decision, I haven't paid a car payment for myself in the last 10 years. Motivational teacher, how in the world, what do you mean? I'm telling you, if you think the thing that you have, you keep holding in your hand so tight, is going to be the savior, that's going to be the very thing that constricts you. And the reason why your fruit will wither up and die, because you're trying to save what's in your hand, and he's telling you to release it. He's saying, let it go. And we hold on to it because I got to keep it real. I want to remain angry. I want to remain salty about what went on. And so I got to hold on to it, motivational teach as hard as I can. Keeping that $789 wasn't my savior. That $789 didn't help me get to where I wanted to be. But in my mind, because I had a spirit of poverty, if I had it, it was mine. And as long as I had it, it had to do something for me. That $789 did nothing until I released it back into the earth. And I'm telling you, keeping it real is the reason why you're flying on the level you are. The moment you expose yourself and say, great I am, awaken my I am in this area, and you start getting information, reading and growing in these areas, are the moment that great I am can do exploits through your life, because you were meant to live from your imagination, man. Don't let anybody tell you different. Imagination is a facet of the image of God. Boy, I just broke bread. The human imagination is not only a gift, a great gift of God, it is also an aspect of the image of God. You want to go from glory to glory? Live from your imagination. Live from your imagination. Keeping it real are fits of carnality that we've sewn together in fig leaves. Oh my God, I'm breaking bread tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's time tonight to take your power back. God created this universe from his imaginations. And I'm challenging you to begin to create from your imagination. In those moments where we want to keep it real, think about, what are the true consequences of me keeping it real right now? What are the true consequences of me having a fit of carnality right now? What is literally the cost for me going off on my boss right here today? If you know what, if you don't like, to me, the greatest revenge ever is success. The greatest revenge ever is success. The future DON, keeping it real, using what we went through to continue to awaken your I am to passing on the torch. Living testimony. Amen. We got it. Come on, man. We can't continue to live through the same life cycle and then expect God to osmosisly make our lives better. We're living through the same life cycles 1 year after 1 year after 1 year. That's why I love, Angelique, your video the other day, because you came to the conclusion, man, you know what? I internalized this, but this honestly, at the end of the day, ain't even about me. And I think that's what a lot of us have to come to that conclusion that, man, you know what? I internalized it, but honestly, at the end of the day, this ain't even about me. On with my day. The great I am has awakened my I am to another lesson that I just learned real time. On to the next one. Up and away. I love that because your I am is being awakened. And the more we can see these situations for what they are, and the more we see these trials and tribulations for what they are, the more we see these, man, honestly, man, you know, I don't like to minimize our time on earth, or I don't like to minimize things that we go through. But the more we see these hurdles, the more we see these attacks against us, it's just more of the great I am awakening our I am. The only way to get stronger is to pump more weight. The only way to grow your muscle to get stronger in any area is to exercise that muscle. And sometimes you're going to have to go through a lot of situations in the same area where you've been exposing, in the area where you've been covering with fig leaves. In order to get stronger in that area, you're going to have to go through more situations to learn how to build that muscle until it's strong enough to withstand the criticism or whatever it is in your life. Well, I wonder why I keep seeing it, because right now you got to get in the gym and you got to build that muscle. You got to grow yourself in order to get beyond this fit of carnality when you see the same situation. Or you got to grow yourself to get beyond this mindset that when I get here, I fail. You got to go back to the gym and you got to build that muscle. Great I am, awaken my I am, so that when I see this next time, that's the greatest prayer you can pray. When I see it next time, I know what it is. You got to awaken, man. I'm telling you today, when I popped on here, I said I'm going to do 35 minutes. Man, I'm telling you right now, I feel this with everything that's on the inside of me right now today. Like Angelique said, I'm breaking bread. I feel this with everything on the inside of me that somebody needed to hear, that you are not who you think you are. The way you react to every situation is not who you are. That's the great I am, trying to awaken your I am in that area. And you got to start building. Build, baby, build. You got to start building those muscles so you can get beyond this situation. Because right on the other side of this situation, on the other side of your comfort zone, is what you've been praying for. It's the thing you've been believing for. But if we keep reacting the same way, we're going to always get the same results. That is the definition of insanity. Doing the same things while expecting different results. That is the definition. Or how long are we going to keep it real? Or like Dave Chappelle said, when keeping it real goes wrong, how long are you going to let keeping it real go wrong in your life? When you were created in the image of the Almighty, when creation is a facet of the mind of God, you get to operate. Come on, man. You get to operate from a portion of you that's made like your daddy when you live out your imagination. You get to frame your world with your words, man. I'm breaking bread right here today. Come on, Lisa, chiming into this conversation. When I see it next time, I know exactly what it is. I'm getting beyond this situation. Yep. You know why? Because you're building your muscle. Right now, this 1 hour of building your muscle. And see, that's why I challenge people, man, to be consistent, because you never can tell what muscle you need to build in your life. I've told you this story 100 times. I was sitting across from a computer screen like this in 2008, and I was struggling. I was broke. I was busted. I was disgusted. I had lost a house. I had lost an apartment. I was living in a room the size of a closet, and I was sitting across the screen just like this. And the guy talked about self-preservation and fear, and what are the results of self-preservation and fear? Poverty, lack, disappointment, all those. I said, oh my God, the root of where I am, The spirit of poverty that I have in my life is based on self-preservation and fear. What if I didn't show up that one day? And this is 20 years, not 20 years, like about 13 years later, and I'm still sitting here talking about that word. What if I had to decide not to show up that day? Come on, ladies and gentlemen, this has to matter. Listen, your life and you building your muscle has to be important. I was mentoring a young guy today. I say a young guy, he's actually older than I am. I was mentoring him today, and I was just telling him, I'm like, hey, bro, well, you know, I got 2 kids doing this. I got this. I said, man, listen, the best thing you could do for yourself, it's okay to be selfish when it comes to your own personal development. Because a better you makes a better father, a better husband, a better employee, a better business owner, a better you makes a better everything around you. You got to start being selfish and putting time in your calendar for your own personal self-development and growth. And I hope you write in Monday nights at 8:30, and I hope you write in Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock, and you write those times in, because this has to matter to you. This has to be one of the, man, listen, my kids, I pencil in when they got to be at school. I know they got to be at school for my older son to catch the bus at 7:20. I mean, he got to be there at 7:20, catch the bus at other school. You pencil that in, you get to your job at 8 o'clock to work on somebody else's vision and somebody else's goal. Why not schedule your own self-development time to work on you and your goals and your dreams? If you don't get selfish with your time and your calendar, as it relates to your personal development and growth, you're going to keep going around this same mountain, keeping it real in the same areas, and you're going to never get any higher manifestation. Because why? I'm going around the same mountain with no plan of how to get over. I love the fact that Lisa said, when I see it next time, I know what to do with it. Yeah. Why? Because she spent some time bench pressing. And the more time you spend bench pressing, the more time you spend working those muscles, the stronger they get, and you start conquering those hurdles. Man, I've been on here an hour. You all have been phenomenal. And I got to about 1/3 of my notes. The old me. Come on, Lisa, breaking bread up in here. Y'all know it. Y'all know it, man. Y'all have been phenomenal tonight. Thank y'all for chiming into this conversation. I love it when I see it next time. Big facts. Hey, Mom, thank you for joining us. Keeping it real, what we used to do. Yeah, it's time for us to go. It's time for us. That's something. There's a call. There's a destination. There's destiny. There's somewhere you got to get to in your life, man. Don't allow yourself to be held up. Don't hold yourself hostage by going around the same mountain all the time. You're greater. You're much more. Man, there's always a ram in the bush. Now you got to go get the ram. You're not supposed to be going to the mountain, sacrificing your goals and sacrificing your dreams up there on that altar when there's a ram in the bush. You got to get to working on yourself, man, to get that ram. All right, man, y'all have been phenomenal tonight. Tuck on another idiom, keeping it real. I say that one fails. Keeping it real is based on your innate values. Keeping it real is a no-go. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses. Want to tell y'all again, thank y'all for joining us on another edition of Motivational Monday. And until next time, I am challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity.